Nothing has moved the needle faster for my influence than the video podcast shows. Nothing. And I am a two-time author. I am an international keynote speaker. I have done in-person events.
Welcome to Rocky Mountain Marketing. I'm your host, Katie Brinkley. Join us as we dive deep with the world's leading digital marketing experts every single Tuesday. It's all about giving you the strategies that are working right now, directly from those who are making an impact. With my 20 years of experience, I'm here to help you navigate the world of digital marketing. Whether you're looking to sharpen your skills or transform your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started on today's journey to success. Welcome back to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Today's guest, it's long overdue for her to join us on Rocky Mountain Marketing because I've known today's guest for years, and I've actually been a guest on her show before. So I'm really excited that we were able to make this happen. We had to reschedule a couple of times, but here we are. It's a very timely episode because she has some really cool things coming out. She's doing things that are a little bit different than the norm. When you're doing things differently, you're innovating and having the opportunity to really create something new and special. Today's guest is Joey Garrity. I've known Joey for at least 3 years now. I was on your show about 2 years ago. You're doing it differently and building out your personal brand differently. You have Superstar Women Entrepreneurs Digital. We have your entire network for female entrepreneurs. You're doing things differently. We're going to talk about how you can use video podcasts, how you can create your own sort of influence within your network. So Joey, thank you so much for joining me today on today's episode.
It's true. We met at PodFest. We met 3
Was
years
it
ago.
PodFest that 3 years ago?
I saw you and I had heard about you. And you were like right over there, and I walked over and I introduced myself. I was like, we have to know each other. So yeah, it was fantastic.
Well, when we met, you were just in the idea phase of launching your network, the Superstar Women Entrepreneurs. And you went to PodFest and met all these other amazing creators, and you decided that you were going to start this network. So let's talk about what Superstar Women Entrepreneurs is and what made you decide to go down this route for really growing your brand.
I have an extensive background in Hollywood. I was there for 20 plus years, worked at all the studios, movies, television, and branded entertainment. I was typically one of the only women in that room. And when I went to PodFest, the first time I was invited by our dear friend Ross, and he invited me. It was during COVID. I went and I was like, okay, I fell in love even deeper. I'd already been video podcasting for a minute, but it just it really started percolating for me. The next year when I went, what I walked away from is that there wasn't enough women in the arena yet. And I was like, no, we're not going to have another table for just men, you know?
Yes.
And I realized that part of the reason is because the technology part, right? It can be a little intimidating, right? I know it was for me. I just had mentors took me underneath their wing, and they're like, no, stop, just do it this way, right? And I've become very at ease with it. And so this was my being of service, really. I was coming back on the plane, and I was still reluctant to start the hub because I knew the responsibility that would come with it. And I came back, and someone recommended a book, and it was called No One's Peeing in the Deep End. And I loved the title. So
not heard that book.
I was like, yes, no one is peeing in the deep end. And I bought it. And I remember the last chapter. It's by Shannon Crody. I remember the last chapter. And she said, what is it that I know you are sitting on an idea or a dream right now, and you're on the fence. When are you going to dive into the deep end? And I literally called someone that I've been watching, who I know, and I've been on stages with her. And I called her and I said, I'm going to start the Superstar Women Entrepreneurs video podcast digital hub, essentially. I want you to be my first talent. And she said, yes. And that's what really got the ball rolling. But sister, there were so many mountains to climb.
Yeah.
So, because I just launched it last year. And last year I was very underwater a lot because I knew the responsibility of I had to like literally learn like as much about YouTube as possible. I was training women who did not have the technology background. Now, you wouldn't know they are such pros. They are incredible. They gave me so much wind underneath my wings when I was ready to burn the whole thing down,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because a dream is incredible, but it also comes with challenges,
Yeah.
right? And
Yep.
that's the truth. That's just being authentic.
Well, Joel, you talk about so many points with being the only woman that had a seat at the table,
Yeah.
and you wanted to change that. And so you started by helping female entrepreneurs grow their brand and their influence. Like you said, you knew how to do this because of your background in television and movies. And it is a lot of the technology that makes people, not just women, want to say, like, oh, I don't know if that's for me. That's one of the reasons why I struggled to start my podcast, because I thought I needed all these bells and whistles to get started. Once I found somebody willing to help guide me, it made a world of difference. And with your network now, the Superstar Women Entrepreneurs Network, you not only have the YouTube channel with thousands of subscribers that the people that are a part of your network are able to grow their brand and influence on, but you also have the newsletter, you also have the digital magazine. I mean, you've really created your own media empire to help others grow their influence. Let's talk about how your network really it's your network, but it's growing so many other entrepreneurs at the same time, and it's really that collaboration over competition mentality.
Yeah. People can say a lot of things about Hollywood, and yes, there is a dark side of Hollywood, but I'll tell you something that Hollywood taught me day one. They said, you have to work with each other. That's why it's $1 billion business. The breakfast, lunch, and dinners are no joke. You really go to breakfast, lunch, and dinners 5 days a week. And it's about building that network. I remember my first movie, which was Stargate. I remember going there through base camp. We were driving through base camp, and I'm like, whoa, there's so many people here and so much going on. And I remember my mentor at the time, my boss was like, it really does take a village. There's no doubt about this of how many people it takes to get this kind of quality to the marketplace. I
Mhm.
remember too when my brother worked on the movie, and I remember we snuck out of work that day and we went to the theater to go watch it. And I'll never forget the moment when I saw our name in lights. It is the only industry that actually honors you in regards to putting your names in light and thanking you for being a
Yeah,
part of it, right? And
yeah,
I remember, and that has just sat with me, Katie, for so long about how we it really is only together. It really is only together. Now, they do have a saying like you don't have to go to each other's homes for Christmas or Thanksgiving. That's not what it's about, right? That there has to be respect. And that, sister, is what got me through the challenges last year. Is these women coming around me and going, we're doing it together. Because part of the culture and the values of the hub of the content creators is you have to share each other's shows. And there is no that's it's not a do you want to?
hmm
No, you have to, right? And when people come on board, I let them know that, and they're like, "Why?" I said, "Because no solo entrepreneur is going to make it in the long run. Not with the algorithms, not the way that the platforms are changing, and we're going against big brands,
hmm
right? We're little independent studios, if you really think about it. Like, can we, right?
yeah, yeah.
And that means you've got to get that kind of talent together. You got to align them, and then it just becomes part of their skin, right? Just a second skin. And now no one even thinks about it. People just share
Yeah.
each other's posts, they don't even think about it.
Well, and what you're doing, you have the video podcast. The video first, having someone show up through YouTube, which also it gets shown on your Facebook group and your Facebook network, and you have all these ways of getting them exposure. And when people have exposure, that's going to help your earning power. When
Oh yeah.
people see more of you, it's going to help you make more money. Let's talk about that.
Nothing has moved the needle faster for my influence than the video podcast shows. Nothing. And I am a two-time author. I am an international keynote speaker. I have done in-person events. I mean, you know my background.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing has moved the needle faster than the video podcast. Part of my culture too that I train is that we only do interview podcasts. They can if they want once in a while, but they tend not to. And I said, y'all, because having that person on, first of all, let's spot all the other people. Let's just do that. Okay. Because that's just being of service. But the next thing too is like having you on the show was great. It was great for the show because I get to tag you,
Yeah.
right? And that's being of service, pre-marketing you, marketing you, and replaying you, right? It's all being of service. But let me tell you, I have a quote. It's like, when you shine the spotlight on other people, the spotlight shines back on you. And that is what Hollywood taught me. When you show up, we will put your name in lights. And that will be a legacy forever. And we're going to give you a lot of influence. I think influence has gotten a lot of bad rap nowadays. I tell women entrepreneurs all the time, do not kick that influence to the curb, sisters, right? Because it's directly linked to your earning power.
How many times do you think someone needs to be seen or have that touch point in order for them to build their influence? Like how, for me, with just the podcast, it took a while, and it really wasn't until I started showing my face. And it's not to say that if you have just the audio podcast, I do feel like it took me longer because I was so afraid to show my face on social media. Do you think that there is a direct correlation of being able to actually see someone, and that's why you've decided to steer people in the video podcast route as opposed to just audio podcasts? And now for just a quick break. You've heard me talk about some of my favorite social media tools on the show, and one of them is a tool called Metricool. Metricool allows you to plan, analyze, and grow your digital presence all in one place. From websites to LinkedIn to YouTube, you can track everything that you're doing online and see just what's working and what isn't. Check out Metricool today at katiebrinkley.live/cool. Just a note, if you use the links I provide, I may receive compensation. All right, let's get back to the show.
Absolutely, because face recognition.
Yeah.
See, we're little stars. Okay. I mean, we're all in you and I are in Ross's book, right?
Yep.
My prediction is we're going to be the new reality and real stars because we're showing face recognition. We have body language when you're on video, right? Mm-hmm. One of my content creators, she's a master body language expert. She talks about this all the time. Just people being able to see your eyes, right? The way you smile, how you hold yourself, the confidence you show up with, right? That takes it next level, sister. I say to people, sure, if you just want to do the audio, it's great. But I think it's a disservice in the long run. I do. And by the way, Katie, you're gorgeous. So, so I don't know why you didn't want to show up on video, but okay, right? I get it. I didn't want to show up on video either, right? At first, right? But the way we dress, the way, our symbolisms, our hair, like it's all part of the big brand, right? Mm-hmm. And I just did an event in Texas and it was such a success. And we were talking to these women and I'm like, nothing we do is accidental, right? My hair is a strategy. It is part of my professional brand. The way I dress, the way I am. And people are seeing it. Our backgrounds, people are seeing this, right? And to your point, how many times? Give yourself some long tail because you're going to be looking at a minimum. So we launched kind of late last year. So it was just our anniversary. So it was just a year.
Are you serious? So it's only been a year? Man, I feel like you've been like running this empire for a lot longer.
I know, right? But you see why I was exhausted last year.
Yeah.
But it's only been a year, and because we're everywhere, sharing each other's shows, repurposing the shows in different ways, right? Right? All of a sudden, that one show goes a long way. And I have content creators that they don't enjoy social media. So don't worry about it. You're going to have so much content. If you just shared and repurposed your show in the way that my system teaches you, I said, and you didn't do anything else, I promise you your influence will grow.
Yeah. It is amazing to me when, just since I've been publishing more video podcasts and showing up on social media with my face, when I go to events, it makes it a whole lot easier to network. People sometimes I still get taken aback a little bit. People walk up to me and say hi, like they already know me. It's because of showing up through video and photos consistently. People build that know, like, and trust factor with you by seeing you in their feed time and time again. When they see you in real life, it's like seeing an old friend.
It's true. I've had that happen.
It,
It
it's
does it
cool.
does ta it does take you back a little bit, because you're trying to connect it. Then I had to make peace, just that's a part of this influence gig, right? Is to me, it's such a part of the purpose, right? Because I wasn't downloading my purpose until later in life. I had no idea why I worked in Hollywood for 20 plus years, other than it was an incredible experience. But I kept asking, why did I work there? And one day I was at my friend's life celebration and I was really blue. I didn't know what to do next. That's the only way I could explain it. I asked that question, like, why am I here? Why was I there? What am I supposed to do? And within seconds, it was downloaded to me. They connected all these memory dots for me. And they're like, you're supposed to bring this to the masses. And I was like, how am I supposed to do that? And they're like, you need to stand in your spotlight. That's my life lesson because I was in the shadows. I was making everyone else a star in Hollywood. I was getting paid money. I was getting influence from my bosses, but no one outside of Hollywood would know my name. So this purpose is what drives me every day. I decided that I was going to build myself a studio because studios give you influence. They give people a shot. And I was like, okay, I'll build my influence so I can hand it to people and give them the shot that they need. This is the reason I was down there.
I love that you keep saying the word influence and building your influence. And I know that the biggest obstacle for so many business owners is that they don't want to be an influencer. Let's talk about the difference of being what some consider an influencer and what you're saying as building your influence.
Well, I was brought down to Hollywood a second time and I was hiring influencers from influencer agencies. I was meeting with big YouTubers and stuff. I remember paying them a lot of money. And what I realized, Katie, was that they were just being themselves is where the dollar signs was going, if that makes sense. And I remember sitting there thinking to myself, I could never be them. When you would go out with them, they weren't talking about YouTube. They were talking about everyday things. They were talking about their breakups. And I remember at the end, I was driving back from LA, and that is when I made the decision that I wasn't going to go back for a job again. And I remember thinking, why not? Why
Yeah.
not? Why can't it be me? It's just a matter of, I know there's business owners out there and entrepreneurs are like, well, I don't want all that. It's partially responsibility, right? There's a lot of responsibility that goes with all this, but there's a difference between wanting to be an influencer, like a beauty influencer. You can't even touch them. That is how expensive they are. And if anyone wants to be one, God bless you, please go be that because I admire that. I admire people that want to be that. But there is also, we are in a time and it's not going to shift back where people want to see behind the red curtains. They want to see who is behind. There's so much lack of trust right now. People saying, I don't want people to emotionally connect with me. You're just doing yourself a disservice and you're just going to work harder.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you want things to be easier? Just be easier. But you do have to be vulnerable. And I think you and I are.
Yeah.
We were very vulnerable. We talked very authentically with each other.
Yeah. Well, and I think that it was very freeing for me to say, I don't need to be anybody other than myself. There's going to be people that are like, whoa, she's not for me. Or, yeah, she makes weird faces, but I know that she's authentic and true and she's sharing real struggles. She's not just saying what I think I want to hear. And honestly, it was a big weight off of actually just turning on the camera, doing more interviews, of just being like, well, this is who I am. This is what I do believe in. This is what I can offer. With what you've done, like I said, man, I thought it was years. It's only been 1 year, Joey.
Yeah,
And
when
you've grown you have thousands of subscribers on YouTube now. You have an entire network of female entrepreneurs that are, producing content for the network. What's next? Because I do think that you're onto something when you say that we are the next reality stars, and it's already happening. I mean, look at how we are attached to our phones and different TikTok videos and YouTube. I mean, you open up TikTok and all before you know it, 3 hours has gone by,
Yeah.
and it's just short little videos. So, I mean, I do agree that we, you, me, listener of Rocky Mountain Marketing, we are the next reality stars. Let's talk about what is next for you and Superstar Women Entrepreneurs Network.
Well, so I'm in the middle of, and I'm going to do an announcement here. I'm going to rebrand it so that it's just Superstar Entrepreneurs, because at first it was really important that I make sure the content creators only brought on women, right? Because women, let's face it, right? It's a different arena for us. And then a couple months ago, I had the download of like, okay, let's bring on men. And then I've had men want to be content creators, video podcast content creators. It's time. It's time now to move the brand into Superstar Entrepreneurs. That YouTube channel was intentionally built as a one-stop shop for entrepreneurs globally to get those resources, those tips, those strategies, so to save them time and money and energy, right? And so I'm opening up the door like that. Where I think the arena is heading, right, is that we see the writing on the wall right now. Okay. The big networks, one in particular, announced that they're going to sell the network. They're going to close it down. Streaming, the being real, being authentic, having these emotional connections. I foresee that it will not take long until the big brands come a knocking, right? Because they're going to want that niche community build out with the emotional connection piece from professionals like us that have been in this for a second, that know what we're doing, right? And they're going to have to put their money somewhere. They are, right? We see what's happening. We saw at the Oscars, the audience attendance is lower. We saw what happened in the Super Bowl. We're already watching it out there. And so this is going to rain. It's going to start raining at some point, right? And the people that have been putting in the time and the effort and that are authentic and have integrity, I believe will be rewarded.
So, listener, if you haven't started yet, the time to start is now, because a changing of the tides is on its way. Well, Joy, this has been an awesome conversation. I can't believe we've already been going for the full episode. One of the biggest takeaways is to just get started. If technology is holding you back, it's time to just turn on the camera and start. You have an entire system and workflow for people that maybe are wanting to get started and don't know how to do it. Talk to us a little bit more about how people can learn more about you and the network and work with you. Tell us all the things.
For the last 3 years, I developed a system. It's a step-by-step system so I could help people become video podcast beginners to help them, right? And I'm really proud of the system. And I make it easy. I'm a great trainer. My mom was a teacher for 32 years. So I enjoy it. People can find me at joeyg113.com. You can find me all over social media. You can go to our YouTube channel, Superstar Women Entrepreneurs. It will be Superstar Entrepreneurs in the next couple days. The reason I branded that, Katie, is because I truly believe that everyone on the globe is a superstar. You don't have to ask permission. It's literally your birthright. And whatever that looks like for you.
You also have something else coming up. Exciting.
Yeah. I've been building my Facebook group, Superstar Women Entrepreneurs. It's at 11.k members right now. And I've been wanting to do a virtual swag bag. It's been a dream of mine. And so I just launched that. And what I love about it is that it is a pure referral service, because there's been studies that 98% of people will go after a freebie. Like they'll go out of their way for a freebie. And this is a way where I can spotlight people inside that are giving away value that's going to help entrepreneurs and business owners, right? And they'll also have an emotional connection to these people. So I just dropped the virtual swag bag.
Joey, thank you so much for all that you're doing with trying to get more of us to show our face on video. I agree with what you're thinking on the next level of reality stars. And there's no better time than now to get started by showing your face and building out your personal brand through video podcasting. Joy, thank you again so much for joining us on Rocky Mountain Marketing today. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. I hope you're leaving with valuable insights and the inspiration to lead your market. If you've enjoyed our time together and found today's podcast episode useful, I have a small favor to ask of you. Please hit that subscribe button to stay updated with the latest episodes. And if you know someone who could benefit from these episodes, maybe a fellow business leader or an aspiring entrepreneur, go ahead and share this episode with them. Let's spread the knowledge and grow together. Also, I'd love to hear from you and continue the conversation beyond the podcast. Visit me at katiebrinkley.com to connect, to find more resources, or just to share your journey. And be sure to pick up your copy of my new book, The Social Shift, at katiebrinkley.com/book. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Katie Brinkley, and I can't wait to dive into more strategies and stories with you on the next episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Let's keep on taking your marketing to new heights.